Hello, I just got finished watching episode 18 of tobeherox, a new anime that just came out this year, I believe, or maybe a little bit last year. No, this year, I think. It's been a while since I've gotten to watch this anime because I've been very busy with schoolwork and whatnot. But for my CAS creative section, I'm going to be reviewing different pieces of media that I'm watching and possibly doing different things. I'm not sure if this is going to be serious. It probably will. But anyway, let's get into it. So to be Hero X, I'll just give you some background because I'm already on episode 18. It's a very interesting concept. Essentially, heroes are powered by the way they're perceived. So if a crowd of people think someone's super strong, they give that person the power of being super strong. And politics plays a role. Just the way you present yourself plays a role. People can lie, like all sorts of things. Like, for example, there's these two characters in the show. One of them is a superhero. He gets popular. It doesn't explain how, but he's there, right? And there's another dude who's like, he goes to parties and he dresses up as that superhero, right? And he ends up saving a boy while in costume because this kid gets kidnapped, and he saves him because, he knows that kid and he wants to save him. And people record him as he's doing that, so he gets popular, and he ends up getting more and more popular over time, from his birthday parties, just being around, social media. People like spread the word of him saving that kid, and it goes viral. So essentially, he gets the powers of the other hero, and then they start clashing, and he gets more and more and more powerful and popular. And because the other hero is older, he starts going down in popularity. The older hero is already, he doesn't really interact with the internet that much, so the younger one ends up catching up to him, and they fight, and he gains more popularity. People root for him more, and he ends up killing the other hero and essentially steals his identity. So, stuff like that. Just giving like a little bit of a background here before I get into the episode. It's a really cool concept. There's also the power of fear and hatred that can be used. And, being popular and being a hero isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Like, if people perceive you a certain way and want you to do something, you're forced to do it. Like, there's this one dude who he's remembered for saving a girl from a fire, and he's like lifting up like falling what's the word, just rubble, right? Lifting up rubble, standing his back straight, just being strong. And that's all people remember him for, is standing up straight. So he's forced to stand up straight forever, so he can't really sleep because he's always standing straight. So it's like there's consequences for it, like and there's a lot of politics and people being corrupt and taking identities, a lot of fighting. It's a really cool concept, and it kind of portrays the world in a little bit, in a sort of way, because politics, people being corrupt, doing anything for power. But this is more literal sense, right? Because in real life you have to get popular off of media and convert that into power, right? But here you just straight up get power from how people think of you and how people perceive you. And it's really cool. It's a great concept. I could go more into depth with it, but I don't want to like prolong this video. I gotta upload it to my computer. It's gonna take a while. But anyways, on to the episode that I just watched. So for a little bit of context, also, the way that the show is made is it shows us different heroes and their backstories, and different people and their backstories, and how they got their power and all sorts of things. It's really cool, and it kind of connects everybody one by one, showing different perspectives and different stories, and giving us information in some parts, but letting us figure out the rest, and then showing us later. So essentially, in the past few episodes, there was a girl who builds robots, right? And she was getting stalked by this guy who actually ended up being her father. But the problem with him is that he can't speak because of how people perceive him. Like, he's a cold-blooded killer, and he doesn't talk very often. So now he just can't talk anymore because people don't think he can talk, or they just don't like imagine him talking because he never talks. So she thinks that he's a stalker because he can't talk to her while following her. and him and his wife broke up when they had the kids, so she doesn't know he's her dad. So he follows her, and she just thinks he's a stalker. And then like we saw another story of this dude who like talks to animals, and he has like this little dog kind of thing that turns into a big monster, and he can control him, and that's his power. And they were all on a trip together, and there's a lot of tension because she knows this guy's been following him, and we're all figuring this all out. And last episode, we saw the dude who controls the cat or whatever, the animal. We saw his backstory, and his father died, and the stalker of the girl, her father, not an actual stalker, ended up killing that dude's dad because he's a killer. And it's all tying together. And also in the background, there's dudes researching fear and trying to make power out of fear, and they dose this guy up on fear power, and they sent him after them. So we have the girl being stalked, her friend, the one with the robots, and the killer, and the dude on the trip, the dude with the cat, right, who the killer killed his dad. It's complicated. And in this episode, we finish up the dude with the cat's backstory. He thinks this guy who has wind powers killed his dad, but he didn't, and that guy ends up dying on a plane. And the dude with the cat gets his power because his cat goes on a rampage after his dad is killed, and he fights the dude with the wind because he thinks, well, he's just angry. He knows who killed the dad, but he's just angry. So he fights that guy. The kid thinks that the wind guy has something to do with his dad's death. The kid tames the cat after his anger, and everybody thinks he's super powerful because he tamed the cat, and that's where he gets all his power from. And he swears he's gonna get revenge by going into the hero agency, and that'll get his revenge. But then the wind dude ends up dying, so the cat guy's kind of lost. But anyways, he's on a trip. We see everything from his perspective, and then the dude who's dosed up on the fear ends up fighting the guy who killed the dude with the cat's dad. And as the fear is like intoxicating everyone, and as that dude's fighting the dad, as the dude dosed up on fear is fighting the killer, who's honestly a good guy. He just kind of he's a martyr. He's a mercenary. Martyr. I don't know if I used that right, but anyways, the dude with the cat ends up getting toxins of the fear, and he's walking into the forest, and he retraces the steps, and he kind of like gets a vision of his dad dying, and he's starting to figure out that the guy who's the killer killed his dad, and he's actually a big fan of that dude. So it's kind of sad because he doesn't know that he did it, but the cat knows that he did it, and the cat didn't like it when he saw his dad, and he was confused why the cat was so angry. Saw his dad's killer, and he was confused why the cat was so angry, and it all starts to connect. But anyway, yeah, the episode was really cool. We get left off when the dude with the cat's starting to figure it out, and obviously the killer kills the guy on the toxins. We get a pretty cool fight scene. It's very nice, very well animated. This anime is beautiful. It's very well animated. But yeah, I'd give this episode a solid 6.5 out of 10. Compared to other episodes, it wasn't that good. It's just kind of progressing the story further, connecting some things together. It's not really a climax episode, but a good one regardless. And there's this moment where when we're looking on the kid's backstory, he lost his mother, his father's wife. That's what I was thinking of. And his father had told him when he was angry about it, some quote like, "We can't let our anger control us, and we have to move forward," something like that. And we get a nice, sweet moment when that kid is telling that to the cat, because he can talk to animals, of course. And it's a really sweet moment. We get a flashback, and it's really nice. That was one of the best. I think that was the best part of the episode. It was a really sweet moment, but not as emotional as other episodes. So I think 6.5 is kind of harsh. I might give it like a 6 or 7. Probably around high 6s, low 7s. But I'm just comparing it to other episodes. and compared to other episodes, it's not as good. Anyways, I've been recording this for a while. I've been yapping for a while, so I'm gonna end it here. I give it a high 6, low 7. Good episode, good anime. I'd recommend it. It's called tobeherox if you ever have the time.